Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading video. I have a couple of decks out and I'll start pulling the cards. I'm wearing a knitted hat that I just finished. I didn't wash it yet to relax the yarn, but I wanted to wear it because I'm enjoying the fit of it. I worked through majority of the chart, and then there was like um the area where there was the pattern for the top of the hat, and I felt like it would be larger than what I would want. um I'm also using the sport weight yarn instead of like a fingering weight yarn, so um I felt like this is good too. I'm super happy with it. This is using the blue is the Ukrainian yarn that I got a while ago, and I was trying to save it for like a garment. I feel like I prioritize garments, but since I'm in a warmer climate right now or area, um, I decided to use it in the hat, and I also use this color instead of another yarn because I felt like um, less people would have a reaction, like maybe they would sneeze or something or cough, because I was going to use a mohair that tends to, like, you could pull on it and it would just like go in the air. So because I knit on this, I sometimes, well, when I was working on it, I would bring it to the course sometimes, and I didn't want to cough either because I wasn't sure how I would react to having. It was like a mohair wool combination, but um, it was just going to be super close to my face. I wasn't sure how I would feel about it. For some reason, it's like a bit broad that I'm relating it to this, but when I first started filming for the video, I noticed that my voice was like stuck. It felt like it was like stuck in an octave, not like my voice doesn't fluctuate. I feel like my voice kind of goes like, I don't know, like regular um situations when you're talking and it tends to fluctuate. So I feel like there's maybe like high spirits or something. Um, I was also eating grapes before I started filming because I went downstairs. I left one of my earrings. I'm wearing my leaf earrings, and for the past couple days, I couldn't find one of them. And I kept checking my hair because it's not uncommon for stuff to get stuck in my hair. Not only earrings, other types of jewelry too, I've gotten stuck in my hair. Um, there are two instances where there were beetles. I feel like I was like under a tree one time, and then there was this other instance. I think I was near a tree where I was parking my car. I was going into the grocery store, and it was like I tend to get ready late, so when I was at the grocery store, it was probably around 10 o'clock, and so there wasn't really people there. And I was like, Adrian, don't freak out. Because I felt it and I was like, please don't let it be a bug. And it was another beetle. I feel like I had like a connection, well, one of those connections are to beetles, and then like bees or wasps tend to come to me sometimes. Like, I don't want to know why beetles like my hair, but there are two different types of beetles. There is, I forgot what the second one was, but the first one was like more distinct. Like I don't know if this is like the nose. It kind of like extended out, like, you know. I remember I was like near a tree at the time, so I think at both times I was near a tree. But I was trying to get it like out of my hair, but like the beetles, like they were just moving slowly, being like, "Oh, I'll just like hang around." I'm like, "No, don't do that." Um, I'm really happy with like making hats too because I don't feel like they're suffocating. I love the hat that my godmother got for me, the one with the ear flaps. I might knit, well, I think I will knit an ear flap hat just because, well, I guess there's more than one reason. I like those types of hats, and the one that I have, it really tugs hard on my hair, um, just because it's like fitted, and so I don't want it to be so um, really stressing my hair, because now I feel like my hair is kind of becoming more voluminous from not wearing as the hat as much. And it reminds me, not really, but I wash my hair sometimes, obviously. I don't wash it often, but I like making my own shampoo. I was thinking I saw this shampoo at Whole Foods that I wanted to try. It's like a rosemary shampoo, and I thought that would be nice because it's like encourages hair growth, and I just like it because it's when you're, at least when I was in college for botanical science, we're taught that it's, with herbal medicine, it's mainly used as a preventative treatment than actually treating the eye ailment. They're not as like aggressive treatments as modern medicine. So when I'm thinking about using something that might have like a specific constituent like rosmarinic acid, the active constituent in rosemary, I'm thinking about it as a preventative treatment or a long-term treatment to maintain having um, hair growth in some way. And you could add different things. I was thinking about getting that shampoo, but it's like I like that it's a shampoo and then there's a conditioner that goes with it. Um, but I get a little like weary because I like having the bare minimum ingredients in my shampoos, or like in a lot of stuff that I use. So that's why I tend to make it myself. Same thing with cooking too, but another reason because I don't want to buy all these ingredients, but I feel like the ingredients that I have, um, strong or subtle, like they add to the food, and it is meant to enhance it in some way. So, um, like when I do my shampoo, I usually like to use the castile soap, and I like the peppermint one. Um, I like to use essential oil. You don't need too much of essential oil because it's a high concentration since you're using a lot of plants in it. It's made from a high quantity or concentration of the plant that it is. So that's a lot of the cases you would dilute it. Um, so I would like to add the rosemary and then to make it more suddy, even though like the castile soap, I like castile soap because it's kind of just like a base. And I noticed that when I use it, it's not heavy on my hair. So my hair can be like the full curls that it is. It's not like that now because I do stuff with like I do the heatless treatment on my hair, like with the tube thing. Um, but if I wanted to, well, it's nice that the hair could almost be like free or at its fullest potential in that way. Um, honey, I really like honey in it. It's not like for something to make it gooey or sticky, it's to make it more soapy or like settier, um like the reaction that you would want from soap. Even though the castile soap can do that too, but it is more on the like minimal side. Um, Also, it is healthy for your hair too, and has a lot of benefits to honey. Honey has a lot of benefits. So, um, I was thinking maybe to do like I like to see what other types of treatments or things that don't cost a lot that you could use, like um, making something with oats or making something with the rice water, and you could do as you like to it. Uh, and maybe like tea tree too. I like tea tree. Some people find it more aggressive. I feel like the tea tree like initial reaction to maybe when it touches skin, it might be surprising because it is almost like a burst of reaction where you just feel like a lot of the tingles. But sorry, I don't know if I spit, but I really like it for my face, and I use the Derma E. I actually got it from the job that I was at. I have two bottles or container bottles um, of it right now. And Derma E is already one that you'll see, it'll list the ingredients that it doesn't have in it. I like I like the ones that I've tried so far. I feel like it's a little surprising for the one that has tea tree because it tends to be on the um, subtle side. It's not as aggressive. Um, I would say that the one that I use is one that if if you might be surprised when you feel it initially, but um, because you might think like, oh my god, this is gonna be too much for my skin, but I just feel like it works so well with my skin. And I'm picky about products in general because I don't like lotion that much because I don't like the feeling of the residue on my skin. Coola is another brand that I like. That one is it like has a focus on sunscreen, but it just really once it goes on your skin and you just put it on, it's almost like nothing happened. Like you feel a slight bit of moisture, but other than that, it's not like the slimy like some lotions. I'm sure a lot of them might work. I just don't like that feeling. There are two hierophant cards in this reading. So from the Hutzel Tarot and the Slavic Legends Tarot. Oh, and you can make your own essential oils too, or like make your own products at home. I think it's nice. For some reason, I just feel like the Hierophant kind of links to a mission in life. It almost like what your soul is called to do, or if you believe in soul contracts, what you might agree upon before reaching the classroom or reaching Earth. And there's like perception that goes with the Hierophant card from the Hutzel Tarot. I feel that it's interesting that with the Empress card, Major Arcana, Hierophant Major Arcana, that the one that stands by the Empress is the Queen of Wands, and the Empress is an embodiment of all the queens. I feel like it's just interesting because these elements are ones that you would normally see or want to see together, but it's almost like there's like a bit of a divine or like divinity that comes with like the wands energy sometimes, because wands is linked to, well, the wand suit is linked to the element of fire in that deck, and the Empress you may feel is more of like something that's more earthbound in that way. So fire and earth. So it kind of feels like divine work on earth. If I would if I were to like piece it like that. I'm gonna show the oracle cards. So there are like listening and noticing cards and also caring and nurturing cards. So I have Nurture Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. Along with Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. And Clairsentience, Archangel Raguel. Notice reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. And Archangel Raziel, I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. I feel that there could be maybe overwhelming thoughts or stress or commitments that maybe things in life, like especially when you go into adulthood and you're often faced with things that are that can be seen as responsibilities or things that could just keep you alive. And maybe we don't encounter or see this as much when we're younger. Maybe we do. Um, and it's almost like now we know. But I feel like the Hierophant cards here, it's almost like it's saying to like be, well, I was gonna say steady, but it says to be ready. Because with the Hierophant in the Slavic legends, there's the Tower card. And the Tower card is a card that like kind of brings everything down. There could be remnants left, so it doesn't wipe something out completely, but it just makes the situation almost upside down or just like a lot more than what you're expecting and a lot of times even wanting. The Tower card is an energy of like being drastic, or there might be like an aggressive energy where something doesn't just gradually change, it like puts everything into a new way of life and being. And I don't want to make it too political because I'm not a political person. It kind of reminds me of like, um, well, this is a Ukrainian reading. I don't know if you would want to hear an American's well, voice on Trump because I'm not going to go too into it because I know a lot of people, a lot of countries are just not, and a lot of Americans aren't either. So if we look at American history, it and we go through the timeline, it's not hard to grasp that out of all the presidents except one so far was a president of color. And like the last election, and we've never had it, just in general, we've never had another president aside from that one that was different than the elderly white presidents. And I'm not like pointing or saying this or that, that's just what it is. So for the last election, it was like Trump against a woman and a woman who's a person of color. And that was something for a good amount of the American population to gather. There's also other things too. Again, I'm not a political person, but it kind of really makes you like, oh no, because of all the things that are happening. So I'm hopeful because it's not something that we're necessarily happy about or anybody's happy about, but we're I'm hoping that nothing happens to other countries, especially like ones that are already going through stuff with the war in Europe. And like, hopefully, I'm hopeful that nothing happens even more with Ukraine. So, with that, it does feel like there's energy. That could be an example of something that is just gone like haywire, or something that's completely different, or aggressively, drastically changing. That's the energy of the tower. But I feel like with the Hierophant, there's a strong sense of like identity and beliefs and where you come from, and even tradition too, and not letting go of those things, even if someone like almost tries to force you to change your way of life or change your way of being. Um, there's like a sense of what is right that comes out of this. You have the Eight of Cups in the present. And this feels like it is emotionally going to a higher place or higher ground, or like increasing the calling, or even answering to that call. With the obstacle being the Six of Swords. And I feel like this goes with the Two of Swords and the Hierophant, that there might be like things that feels a little or a lot discouraging, but there does feel like a welcome home or bondedness that can come out of it, because the obstacle with that is where you're trying to go is the Six of Wands. And that could be motivation, because I've said in the past that fire and air being the swords in this deck, the Glory to Ukraine Tarot, it they're energies or elements that work well together. Um, well, to a point where it's almost like sometimes you might have to watch it too, because there can be times of when to know how to react and what to do in certain situations. I feel like with the Six of Wands, there could be recognition that comes out of this. Another major arcana is the Moon. Linking to Pisces. Then how to overcome the obstacle is the Four of Cups, and that's underneath the Moon card, or the way that I put the cards out. So water with water, I feel like it's amplified, and there can be even a deep set or like an inner knowing. I feel like there's an awareness for sure. The moon energy is like that strong pull. So that could be linked to the movement of the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Now, you wouldn't need to say that that's physical, but there might be times where the moon card really sets the um the person in the mindset or like the focus because of how strong those things that they hold dear are. And the Four of Cups with that, I have it with the Judgment, Major Arcana. It almost feels like, I'm not saying that this is a game, but it feels like there's, it feels like a chess game in a way. I know I literally just said it wasn't a game, but it it's almost like towards the end, like if I'm thinking about different timelines, like the pieces or those who are in this in that are involved, like either have been doing this for a long time or that they're playing the game and it's not the first time they've played the game. And so it is a little tedious and it like is strategy and tactfulness that comes from the Judgment energy with the Four of Cups. And sometimes, like with the Four of Cups, you do things that in your heart you're just like not thinking that this is what should be done. But it is more of an everyday energy. But I feel like with the Four of Cups, over time, something can pan out from it. Because the Four of Cups, it can have divine energy linked to it. And since there are two Hierophant cards, I'm getting that there can be um, the benefit or something that is happy that could come from it where it doesn't necessarily erase those things that you might experience or feel, but gradually it will make sense. So the past is the Page of Cups. And then the future is the Strength card. That was one that was like the energy. I'm not saying it, the energy felt like it was popping in a way. It was flying out. Page of Cups, I do feel like it links to the Hierophant too because there's a sense of devotion that comes out of it. Because we're thinking, if we think about pages, page, knight, queen, and king, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's the age of the person, whoever the reading is directed towards, or whoever that card is directed towards, or situation. But in general, it's almost um, like an energy of walking into a classroom, because the pages tend to be the novice type of energies. But now there's something telling about what a person does, and especially if they want something, and something that I feel that when the energy may not be as trusting as I'm feeling. Some people might have other feelings about it, but um, if they don't get something, do they try to destroy it so nobody else gets it? I feel that there can be a nobleness in this type of strength that's being represented, and that could be the stuff that's tested too with the judgment energy, that how you come out of this, there is like a sense of nobility, and with that there can be like this aspect of respect that comes out of it because you respect yourself and you respect others. And I do feel that it can have a domino effect on how their things can function in the world. Um, Let me pull out a couple more cards. And I feel like there's an energy of like calming the soul, because there's the life review. Archangel Jeremiel, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. And patience, Archangel Jopiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize, still they need nurturing and patience. And both green energy, I feel it can link to the Empress too, because um, of the Earth and the Empress card. And I'm also thinking about Libra too, because the Archangel of Libra is Archangel Jovial. Interesting cards that came out. I feel like with the Knight of Cups here, it's like something just kind of worries the knight because the Nine of Swords is there. And it feels like energy of like deep contemplation or pacing almost. And energy of being wise because you have the Seven of Cups with the Four of Pentacles, of how things are being distributed, or even the decisions of how your way of life will be. The two cards that I found were interesting because, in a way, it is a bit of a paradox. So I'm thinking that the world might have like a little secret or one of those things where you go through life and you do these things. I've said it before, sometimes I feel that the world doesn't want to tell you how you're going to get to point A to point B because it might not be an avenue that you were feeling like that would be something easy to take. So we're definitely not taking shortcuts, I don't feel. It's almost as if, like, there's the Knight of Pentacles and the Chariot card. And one thing about the Knight of Pentacles that you can get from readings, and I am getting from this reading, is a card that is consistent, a card that stays put, but at the same time, Chariot is like Major Arcana, and it's a card of extreme movement. So that's something like it stays, but it goes, it stays, but it goes. So I feel that maybe the Knight of Pentacles might have an idea with the Seven of Cups of certain dreams or aspirations that they'd like to reach. And since we're thinking about cups, they're in pentacles, it could be like having something like a stable relationship or stable home life, even moving forward in progressing a specific relationship or place in life. So there can be things that harbor us or keep us in specific places. It can be certain thing like mentalities or emotions. It can even be physical, and I'm thinking physical because the pentacles is there. And one thing that you might get, especially in war, is like martial law, and if those are like government regulations, I believe, for the citizens of that area. And I feel like it's more escalated than the normal way of life. And it can even have you be forced to stay in an area or do something specific that wouldn't normally be something that you would do. So, and the trident really stands out. I do feel like there can be a sense of patriotism that comes out of that too. But with the chariot there, it seems like it's promising, like things can progress well. And it goes, there's something that goes into motion with that too. So, again, with the patience and the Hierophant, I know with the tower, it's a lot to take in. I'm not saying that it's not justified to feel or to do things because of certain things that are happening in life. I think there's like an understanding and knowing that when we go through these things, um, it might be what might be easier to go through these waves and times in our lives is that we understand that if it's a painful part or if it's like a difficult area or thing that it is in life, that we understand that there's, well, it may seem obvious, but there's pain that comes with it. And um, I'm thinking about, well, there's of course different types of pain, but like emotional can be a big factor of it. So when we understand that it can, even though it seems like it's the obvious thing, it can make things run a little more smoothly or even progress in a faster pace, if you believe that. And again, it can be more broader, but maybe that's something to keep in mind so we can find ways on how to bring love back into our lot in our lives instead of keeping it at bay. It's almost like when we want something or someone in life, but we don't let ourselves have it because we're determined to feel that we shouldn't have it for a specific reason. When if it's there and we feel strongly that this is the right situation, it doesn't always have to be like understanding that there's pain. There's also understanding that there's love that comes in as well, that it kind of opens up and it we bring that into our vessel. It's not just, it doesn't just hold things that what we think what we deserve, and sometimes we don't tell ourselves that we deserve the greatest things, but we can win. Then there's the Two of Swords again, because there is one from the Hutzel Tarot, and then the Eight of Swords. I think at this time it might be helpful to release tension like in your mind, and it can be even blocking out those certain thoughts that put you in a mood or in directions that aren't the healthiest for you. There might be things to like shift so that your mood can be elevated instead of feeling like it's hindering you. And with strength, it can be like the strong stance. And then this card is, there's a lot of listening. So I do feel like there's paying attention. So, our claircognizance, Archangel Uriel, pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. There are a lot of sword cards here because I feel like it links to the swords or the mind and how we think and how things are being communicated. There's that type of perception that maybe we're trying to open up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.